Good evening. It is Saturday night and it's time to read Genesis. Tonight we're reading Genesis chapter 37. It has been just as cold as I expected it today. I believe we had a little bit of snow this morning. Around here the wind was blowing so hard it couldn't ever settle in, but we did get a little bit of snow. It didn't even stick. But I hope y'all had a good day. And so tonight we're going to read, like I said, we're going to read Genesis chapter 37, excuse me. I may have said 27, but it's 37. And it's titled Joseph's Dreams. Jacob lived in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any other of his sons, because he was the son of his old age, and he was the son of Rachel. And he made him a robe of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peacefully to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. Now I've got notes over here. Just because Joseph had dreams, did God tell him to tell it to his family? And it doesn't say he did or he didn't. So, and then I've got a dysfunctional family, sibling rivalry, jealousy. God used all these bad things to make his story move forward, to move his story forward, and to save the Israelites. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Hear this dream that I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf rose and stood upright, and behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers said to him, "Are you indeed to reign over us? Are you indeed to rule over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers and said, "Behold, I have dreamed another dream. Behold, the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." But when he told it to his father and his brothers, his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow ourselves to the ground before you?" And his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. Now, keep this in mind, because later on we'll see how this plays out, how his dream did come true. Joseph sold by his brothers. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers pasturing the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." And he said to him, "Here I am." So he said to him, "Go now, see if it is well with your brothers and with the flock, and bring me word." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a man found him wandering in the fields, and the man asked him, "What are you seeking?" "I am seeking my brothers," he said. "Tell me, please, where they are pasturing the flock." And the man said, "They have gone away, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. Then they saw him afar, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. They said to one another, "Here comes the dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. Then we will say that a fierce animal has devoured him, and we will see what will become of his dreams." But when Reuben heard it, he rescued him out of their hands, saying, "Let us not take his life." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him, that he might rescue him out of their hand to restore him to his father." So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the robe of many colors that he wore. And they took him and threw him into a pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. Then they sat down to eat. And looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead, with their camels bearing gum, balm, and myrrh, on their way to carry it down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our own flesh." And his brothers listened to him. Then Midianite traders passed by, and they drew Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. They took Joseph to Egypt. Now I've also got a note over here that says, are we settling for less than what God has for us? Joseph had greatness within. He could have stopped and just been another son, but he held the salvation of his family in his future. So keep that in mind. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes and returned to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone, and where shall I go?" Then they took Joseph's robe and slaughtered a goat and dipped the robe in the blood. And they sent the robe of many colors and brought it to their father and said, "This we have found. Please identify whether it is your son's robe or not." And he identified it and said, "It is my son's robe. A fierce animal has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn to pieces." Now, notice that they said, "Tell us if this is your son's robe," instead of saying, "If this is our brother's robe." They weren't claiming any claim to him. Then Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his loins and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, "No, I shall go down to Sheol to my son, mourning." Thus his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard. So that's the end of chapter the end of chapter 38. And if you will notice, and I've noticed it this time more than any time I ever have, because I'm still reading doing the Bible recap, and I read. If I follow the plan, I'll read the Bible through in a year. And I think I told y'all the other night that I was talking or thinking about something, and the Lord said, "Yeah, you're reading it, but you're not studying it." Because I was reading it on my phone, and there's nothing wrong with reading your Bible on your phone. But I tend to pay more attention when I'm reading my printed Bible. I slow down and read more into it and notice things, and I can make notes because I have a journaling Bible, so I can make notes in my Bible. Whereas if I'm on my phone app, I'll say, "Oh, well, I'll have to remember to jot that down later." Well, a lot of times that doesn't happen. Oh, excuse me. So I've started reading it in my Bible, my printed Bible, and it takes longer, but I'm getting more out of it. So if I keep following this plan, I will read the Bible in a year. And it's a very good study. But I'm noticing more this time than any other time I've ever read the Bible through, which has only been 3 or 4 times. But I've read the Bible a good bit, and I'm noticing more repetition where this happens, and then later you see something similar that kind of mirrors back to that, or this happens and it's a shadow of what's coming. Well, one example, and we talked about this the other day, when Abraham was supposed to offer up Isaac as a burnt offering. God told him to offer him. Well, God just wanted him to be willing to not put anything. He didn't want Abraham to put anything before God. And that was his way of testing him. Well, when it came time for him to actually kill Isaac, the angel stopped him and said, "There's a ram in the thicket over there. Its horns are caught in the briars or the thorns." Well, that's kind of a foreshadowing of Jesus being the ultimate sacrifice, and he wore a crown of thorns. So there's all kinds of repetition and foreshadowing and back and forth if you'll just notice it. So and the more I read it, the more I want to read it. Excuse me. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me tonight. It's supposed to be another cold night tonight. I don't know how cold it's going to be, but I've let my pipes drip all day, all last night and all day today and all night tonight. And then we'll see about tomorrow. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. Don't forget, we've got bike church tomorrow night. Oh, I will tell you this. The prayer board thing that we were going to do today, we're putting it off till next Saturday. So let me know if because of the weather. It was down it was below freezing all afternoon, and the wind was whipping around, and it was too bad to be out. So let me know if you're interested in going to it, and I'll send you the information. We'll do bike church tomorrow night, and don't forget, starting this next Thursday, two other things. And starting this next Thursday, I'm going to be teaching a class on the book of Acts on Thursday nights, and it'll be at the same time, 8:30, but it's part of my online work that I'm doing. And so I'll be teaching Acts on Thursday nights. Every other night I'm just going to continue to when we get through with Genesis, we're going to bounce back to Revelation and finish Revelation. So that's one announcement. And I am hosting a sermon-based Pulse group. We're doing it online, so if you live somewhere away and you want to participate, let me know and I'll text you. We do it in Google Meet, which is kind of like Zoom, but I believe it's a little bit better. And I will send you the link to the sermon, and I'll send you the questions ahead of time so you can listen to the sermon, and then we have discussion questions. And there's no right or wrong answers. It's a way for us to learn more about what we're hearing and learn more about each other. We're teaching each other. I'm just the one that kind of leads it. But there was a couple of us that did it this last Friday night. And but you're more than welcome to join me, but just let me know. We're not doing it like a live. It's not recorded, so whatever you say stays there. It doesn't go any further. It's not publicized for everybody to see, and that's one reason I chose that. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me, and we will see you tomorrow night at Bike Church on 3-in-1 Motorcycle Ministries.